Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I just added a new card to my wallet, and I think that it's a pretty powerful card that not that many people are talking about. Now, as you can see in the title of this video, the card that I'm talking about is the Chase Aeroplan card. Now, this card launched a couple of years ago, and it has a number of different benefits that are connected with it that I feel are pretty underrated because this card can cater towards those who are budget travelers and also luxury travelers. Now, I'll admit, when this card first launched, I wasn't super high on it, but after further reviewing this card, I realized that this card is actually a great card that can work for a lot of different people. I do want to shout out Dougras from Dougras Reports because out of all the different blogs and videos and people who I follow, he's one of the only people that I know who has this card and is constantly talking about how much he likes it. The Aeroplan card is issued by Chase Bank, and you get yourself 3x multipliers on dining, groceries, and Air Canada purchases, and then you get yourself 1x back on all of the purchases. Now, this Air Canada airline credit card lets you get your first check bag free with Air Canada flights. This card also gives you a 25% boost in pay yourself back for travel purchases when you end up using this card with the points that you've earned for Aeroplan, either from your Aeroplan card, for Aeroplan flights, or from Chase Ultimate Reward points that you transferred over to your Aeroplan account. So similar to like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Aeroplan card gives you a 25% boost. The difference is that with the Aeroplan card, you don't need to use Chase's travel portal to be able to get this boost. When you end up using the Aeroplan card, anything that codes as travel, you can end up getting yourself a 25% boost when redeeming your Aeroplan points towards that travel purchase. So this card is actually more powerful than the Chase Sapphire Preferred when you are redeeming your points for travel purchases, because you're not only hindered towards using Chase's travel portal, but also when you end up using this card, there are many things that are going to be coding as travel that you won't even be able to use with your Chase Sapphire Preferred through the travel portal. For example, if you happen to have things like subways, taxis, these are all things that are going to be coding as travel that you wouldn't be able to get a boost with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, then you can get yourself a boost with the Aeroplan card. Another feature that this card has, and this is the one that intrigues me the most, is that if you transfer over 50,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points or more to your Aeroplan account, you get yourself a 10% boost on those points. So for example, if you happen to be transferring over 100,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points over to your Aeroplan account, your Aeroplan account will have 110,000 Aeroplan miles. Now, this boost is capped at 25,000 bonus points per calendar year, which means that the most you can end up getting for this 10% boost would end up being 250,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points transferring over to your Aeroplan account. Additionally, with this card, you can get yourself TSA PreCheck and Global Entry, and also 1 year complimentary of DoorDash Dash Pass. This card also has a $95 annual fee. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a bit of a deeper dive into the card and go over the features that I connect you with it and show why, if you are a travel fan, this card is worth adding into your wallet, even if you happen to never fly with Air Canada. So first, let's look again at the multipliers for this card. So I'll say that I don't think that the multipliers for this card are great, but they are much better than most other airline credit cards out there. Most other airline credit cards that have a similar annual fee are going to end up giving you 2x back on dining, 2x back on some other random category, and then 2x back on flights with that specific airline. Whereas with the Aeroplan card, at least they're giving you 3x back with their own airline. The challenge with this, though, is that many other travel credit cards out there with a very similar annual fee will end up giving you back 3x back for transferable currencies that you can either transfer to Aeroplan or any other airline that is connected with those different banks. So I would always like to look at airline cards that can give me at least 4x or maybe more back, but there's not many out there that do that. So because of that, even though this card can give you 3x back on Air Canada flights, if you happen to have another travel credit card that has transferable currencies, it'll just make more sense to use that for Air Canada flights, whether it be something like the American Express Green Card or the Chase Ink Preferred Card. And the fact that you can end up earning the same amount of miles for the same purchases, but they're not just going to be stuck in your Aeroplan account. And if you end up wanting to have more Air Canada miles, then you just transfer over those transferable currencies over to your Aeroplan account. I do like that they are giving you 3x back on groceries because this is definitely a missing category for Chase cards. So if you happen to be a Chase fanboy and you are looking to get yourself a higher multiplier in the grocery category, then this card can definitely end up being a nice fit for that. Now, this card does give you a complimentary year of DoorDash Dash Pass. So if this is a service that you use, then you can value this. For myself, I'm probably not even gonna end up even downloading the app because I'm already sick and tired of all these different food delivery services. If you have any American Express cards, you're probably looking each month at trying to use your different Uber Eats credit or your Grubhub credit. I just am sick of these different services, so even though this could give some people value, this thing gives me zero value. For most airline credit cards, I don't think that they end up being worth it unless you're taking advantage of the free check bag that's connected with the card. Because although it may end up being a $99 or $95 annual fee card, well, if you can get yourself free check bags multiple times throughout the year, then this can easily offset that annual fee. Now, if you are constantly flying to Canada, then obviously this can make a lot of sense. But most routes that American travelers are going to be looking for are going to be within America, so they're probably going to be looking to get themselves free checked bags with a US-based airline. But even if you never check a bag with Air Canada or even fly Air Canada, this card can still make sense for that $95 annual fee because of two major features that are connected with the card. And these are going to be the pay yourself back and then also the 10% boost when you end up transferring over your Chase Ultimate Reward points to your Aeroplan account. If you are someone who doesn't like playing around with transfer partners or trying to find award availability, but you do like to travel, chances are you probably have found a travel credit card that ends up giving you a boost for your travel purchases and also your travel redemptions. A popular card that many travel lovers have is the Chase Sapphire Reserve. The Chase Sapphire Reserve gives you a 50% boost when you redeem your Chase Ultimate Reward points through Chase's travel portal. One of the challenges that many people have either with getting this card or keeping this card is that hefty $550 annual fee. Now, while the Aeroplan card has a $95 annual fee and only technically gives you 1.25 cents back when you end up redeeming your points as a pay yourself back with travel purchases on your Aeroplan card, if you do a few tricks, you can actually see the 50% boost that the Chase Sapphire Reserve card gets with your Aeroplan card. The way you would do this is to earn yourself Chase Ultimate Reward points, and then when you see a transfer bonus over to Aeroplan, you transfer over your Chase Ultimate Reward points over to your Aeroplan account. Now, I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, but ever since the Chase Aeroplan card has come out, the only major bank that has had a transfer bonus to Aeroplan, excluding Bilt Rewards that seems to have its own different rule set, has been Chase. So if you have Chase Ultimate Reward points and you have a Chase credit card that allows you to transfer over your Ultimate Reward points over to your Aeroplan account, and you are transferring all these points during a transfer bonus, you'd be getting 20% additional points, but also you'd be able to redeem those points at 1.25 for travel purchases. And if you happen to be transferring over 50,000 points or more, and you have the Aeroplan card, you get an additional 10% on those points. So you would essentially be getting yourself a 30% transfer bonus as compared to only a 20% transfer bonus. So let's compare redeeming your Aeroplan miles for travel purchases when you are taking advantage of one of these yearly transfer bonuses to redeeming the same points with the Chase Sapphire Reserve through Chase's travel portal. Say you have 50,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points and also the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, you can get yourself $750 in value when you are redeeming these points through Chase's travel portal. Now, if you also happen to have the Aeroplan card and you have the same 50,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points and you transfer them over to your Aeroplan account during a 20% transfer bonus, you're going to be getting yourself 65,000 Aeroplan miles because you're going to get yourself 10,000 Aeroplan additional miles for the 20% transfer bonus and then another 5,000 additional Aeroplan miles because you have the Aeroplan card and you transfer over 50,000 points. Now, with the Aeroplan card and taking advantage of the pay yourself back feature, you can redeem these 65,000 Aeroplan miles with a 25% boost towards travel purchases, giving you $812 in value. So if you implement this strategy, you would exceed the 1.5% return of the Chase Sapphire Reserve and also avoid using Chase's travel portal. So if you happen to want to earn yourself hotel points and also have your hotel status be honored when you are redeeming your points, well, this can end up being a great way to do that and also getting yourself more value than the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Now, as I said earlier in the video, having the card and getting that 10% bonus is capped at 25,000 bonus points. And also, the pay yourself back feature, while it does end up giving you 1.25% back on your travel purchases, they do have it listed that will end up being capped at 50,000 points after the end of this year. Now, they have moved this a couple of times already where it was supposed to end at the end of last year and then at the middle of the summer this year. So we'll see if they end up extending this even more. But currently, if you happen to be transferring over more than 50,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points, but also less than 250,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points, then you will be beating the Chase Sapphire Reserve with your redemption value. Now, I predominantly redeem my points or miles with different airlines for business and first class because I find that to be not only more valuable, but also it makes the game a lot more interesting. But if I happen to want to redeem any of my points for different travel purchases, it is for sure that this is the way I'm gonna end up doing it. As soon as I got approved for this card, I immediately transferred over 100,000 of my Chase Ultimate Reward points over to my Aeroplan account, which ended up giving me 120,000 Aeroplan miles, and I will be getting myself the additional 10,000 Aeroplan miles, which takes a few days after the original transfer they ended up doing, which is going to give me 130,000 Aeroplan miles. And then after I end up hitting the welcome offer minimum spend, then I'm going to have over 200,000 Aeroplan miles if you include the spend as well. Now, if you want to redeem your Aeroplan miles on Aeroplan's website, I will admit that understanding how the rules of the program when it comes to their different partners, the different stopovers, and all that can be a little tricky in the beginning, but once you begin to understand it, you'll see that Aeroplan is one of the strongest programs out there. You want to fly first class on Lufthansa? You can do that for 90,000 Aeroplan miles. You want to fly business class on Singapore Airlines over to Europe? You can do it for 60,000 Aeroplan miles. There are many different sweet spots out there, and if you start to play around with the Aeroplan's different award chart and try to really understand their program, you're gonna start to realize just how good it really is. Air Canada is part of Star Alliance, which is the largest airline alliance out there, and they also have many airline partnerships outside of Star Alliance. Air Canada's Aeroplan miles are some of the best miles out there, so when you start adding in 30% transfer bonuses, I don't know which other program has better deals than them. Some might argue that Avianca does, but I would rather Aeroplan miles. I do think that American Airlines does have the strongest miles out there, but there isn't a way to transfer transferable currencies from one of the major banks over to an American Airlines account, and even if you could, they would never have a 20 or 30% transfer bonus. A lot of times on this channel, I talk about transfer bonuses, and I feel like I think of them way highly than many other people do. Because when you really start to see what you're getting from these transfer bonuses, it just gives you so much value. If you transfer over 200,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points over to your Aeroplan account while having this card during one of these transfer bonuses, they give you 60,000 additional Aeroplan miles. That's enough for a business class flight over to Europe, which would be a stupid expensive cost if you actually were to be paying this out of pocket. This is the reason why I value transfer bonuses so high, because it's about as close to free travel as you actually can get. Now, I do want to touch on one of the reasons why I don't think many people either have gotten this card or even bring up this card. And the reason why is because I believe that there is a high percentage of people who are in this game who grab on to all of their Chase Ultimate Reward points and they transfer them over to the World of Hyatt program. Now, I am someone who is a big fanboy of Hyatt, and most of my Chase points do get transferred over to the World of Hyatt program, but I don't value Hyatt points that high as compared to getting myself possibly a 30% transfer bonus over to Aeroplan from my Chase Ultimate Reward account. That is just too good of a deal to be missing out on. Now, would I rather grab into my American Express points and transfer those over to airlines to make different flight award bookings? Yes, but I don't value Chase Ultimate Reward points at 30% higher than I do my American Express points, or my Hyatt points at 30% higher than I do any of my airline miles. The Aeroplan card is one of the most underrated cards out there. If you happen to have a stash of Chase Ultimate Reward points, if you add this card to your wallet, chances are it's going to give you a ton of value. I'm actually surprised at how little this card gets talked about, because if you do a deeper dive into this card, you'll realize that this is one of the better travel credit cards out there. But hopefully you enjoy this video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts about the Chase Aeroplan card? Now, if you happen to have any questions about the Chase Aeroplan card, also drop it down in the comment section down below and I'll do the best I can to answer it. And if you happen to be interested in any cards, please check out my links in the description box. If you do decide to use any of those links, it does really help out the channel and I'll be incredibly thankful for your support. And if you happen to really like this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and have a beautiful rest of your day.